What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
Yes, guys. We get at least one in a week. And then, of course, the second one a week is our reaction live stream. We did the Bears. You see the Bears, they're hurting CD's ankle there. We have the Packers coming up next here in week 4. So that's what we're going to discuss here tonight. Both the the fallout from the Bears loss and the injuries. Booker involved. Deron Bland, is he coming? We're going to talk about that. Dak, is he going to be able to survive with Micah on the other side? We're going to talk about all these things and, yes, even more than that here on My Cowboys Family, our once-a-week show. And tonight's our Fan Friday. Welcome in, everybody. And shout-outs to the person who's running the show. Houston Texan fan, a Houston fan, but shout-outs to the one and only John Luna.
Woo.
The great John Luna. Shout-outs to him. He is the man. He's the sponsor of the quarter. And he's currently... not just that, he's also 100 points on the Stream Boss, fully loaded. He makes a lot of dreams come true here when it comes to the raffles that we have. So shout outs to the man John Luna there. He's also the gifting champion, the top sponsors, also the gifting champion. Shout out to the man John Luna. Oh, you might see Dingleberry Sports highlights. Let's talk about the leaders in here. John Luna is also leading this month once again. He's the top sponsor currently for the month, and we'll see what happens after this game in 2 days. If he holds on to that top spot for the month and you know continues his streak, you could say, as our sponsor of the quarter / now month when it's football season. Now, I also want to give you the leader right now. You see up top there, the gifting leader is the man staying skeptical fan. He has 7 gifted memberships. John Luna is right there in second with 5 gifted memberships, and AOD got 1 in the house there. So shout outs to all you guys on that side. It's a great way of helping the channel. I'll explain a couple more things there. Because again, there's ways of dropping the love here through the super chat, the thanks button. You can jump in and join the membership like JD from DC, William Burney, a couple people from the last time we went live. So shout outs to you guys. Justin Quarles, the Q-Man in his silver level. By the way, silver level shout-outs. The Q-Man. Also, A. Lavelle, Top Dog, Bullies. Much love to all you guys in the silver level on the Fan Friday. But we also shout out the star level. We'll do that in a minute. I do also want to give a huge shout-out to Daniel Berry, who's currently leading. He bypassed a couple of people there, Motor and Pat Pfeiffer. And now he's in first place as our top, I guess, a Cash App sponsor. We'll see. We'll explain that in a minute here because we have a current lead. That's our leader, but the guy who's running the show is Motor City Maniac. Shout out to Motor City from the Detroit Lions fan, but repping it here. Motor City is the king of the Cash App.
That's right.
I want to make sure we shout him out properly. Now, baby, how different ways of dropping the love here. I talked about the super chat on the YouTube side and other ways, but there's different ways of dropping it on the After Dark style of things.
Yes. Of course, you have the Cash App, money sign My Cowboys Family. You have the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family. The regular PayPal link. And last but not least, that Streamlabs link that lets your comment show up on screen like a super chat would.
That's right. So shout out to Motor for being the champion there. Shout out to Dingleberry Sports for taking a little bit of a lead there on that side of things for this month. And of course, I also shout out to star level members every single time we go live. Not Silver gets it on Friday, but the Star gets it every day we go live. And shout outs to Mary Alvarez, Aussie, skeptical fan, always staying skeptical. And of course, the man on most of these pages here, John Luna. He's the man in the star level. No over everything right now, but we'll see. I think we're getting closer to getting somebody on the show. But the special guest I kind of was teasing today is the wife who's here with me. Usually she does not do the weekday shows here when I go live on Thursday or Friday. I do it myself. She has the energy today to put it in. She wanted to go live, I think, earlier in the week and kind of say her piece on things. We had to do other thing. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things going on and schedule changes, like we said in the past. So hang with us. And just roll with us on this, and we'll get through it. But
we made it happen.
And the wife's going to drop a couple of her dimes here, her thoughts.
Hey, the way Jerry's doing things, we might have to. Inflation might have hit it. I'm gonna be dropping dollars.
It's trickling down to the players too, like Trayvon. So you got a couple thoughts on that and other things. But hey, This you see, there's a goal, and right now it's 0 of 20. Right, there's 20 spots there. If you drop $5 or more in the super chat, you hit the bullseye. If you hit 20 bullseye over the next, I guess 2 hours we have left, and this basically for this show, if you hit 20 of those, everybody in there gets into a raffle. 4 names get picked from that raffle to get into this. And it says quarterly, but it'll probably be a monthly jersey raffle for the next couple of months here on My Cowboys Family. Star level members, I just shouted them out. They get one raffle entry. The over everything level, they get 2 raffle entries. The quarter winner, this is John Luna here. But also, of course, now the monthly winner will also get the automatic raffle entry.
Yes.
And then we also have some specialties when Mr. John Luna or anybody just drops all the bullseyes in one drop. It leaves about, 19, 18, 15 spots open for others to hit that and get in automatically into this raffle. Not even going into that pre-raffle that we have right now on the normal pace.
Yeah. If
someone drops and just kills the bullseye, every drop after that gets you automatically into this raffle. So that's the way we're going there and doing that kind of thing. We did the shout-outs when it comes to the star level, silver level, over everything level. We did all the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of the channel. I don't know if people... we don't go live every day like we used to, so of course, it drops off a little like that. But we still have people come back and do watch and send us comments and thoughts about some questions about this. So make sure you get your thoughts known in the chat. Which now it's time to, I guess, shout everybody out. Who's in the house?
Hello and hi to Stick Aguilar 04. We have Chapel Hannon in the house. Mocus Locus. Hello and hi to you as well. Rolling back, Motor City Maniac. Always go Cowboys. Yeah. Darren Posey Sr. Much love. He said in his MCF voice, go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Charvati, what's up? The number 1 mod on the After Dark streets. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Happy Friday to you. What's up? And again, you guys made some really good comments here in the chat that kind of lead off into exactly what we're talking about. I said I'm tired of our defenses always making average quarterbacks look like Super Bowl, Pro Bowler quarterbacks. Yeah. It's been a problem since the Romo days, and it's sickening. Now, Chapel Hannon said, MCW, the Packers had a hard time with the Browns, and we're way better than the Browns. So,
Exactly. I mean,
they're still, we should be able to handle that. I said, I don't know.
We're going to break it down and give you my thoughts on this, but don't expect me to agree with that. Sorry to say, I don't think that we're in good shape here. And I don't know if we're better than the Browns, honestly. In some ways, we're not. But, yeah.
Well, I guess then hit me with a raw dose of good old-fashioned cowboy reality. What's been going on?
Unfortunately, I do it. I do that too much sometimes when it comes to the Cowboys and to
Hey, there's only one way to be when it comes to this. But let's be real. After that game, most of us were feeling very defeated. Not that we expected the Cowboys to have the world's greatest season. But man, that was extremely demoralizing. Yeah. Even by our standards.
Yeah, we are such a pessimist, yet even that was a big surprise. And again, it was 31-14. It was a blowout, and it should have been worse. It probably should have been 38 or even worse than that by the time the final numbers came in there. But again, 31-14 was the loss. They had us we didn't score a point in the second half. And Schottenheimer got credit on that first week against the Eagles. Not great, but still had some things to get us back in the game against the Giants. So we liked some of the trends. And then this game, not very happy about the second half here. We're still having breakdowns on this team. And it's coming on the defensive side in a major way, but it's also coming somewhat on the offensive side as well, I believe. And I also want to, kind of go through what he said after the game, his thoughts for Schottenheimer, the head coach, who, again, is not running the offense, but it is kind of his offense. So, anyways, he said himself, they got to take a look at the pass rush problems this week. We're getting 4-man pass rushes in 3 games. We get nothing from this, no pressure. So that's horrible. The big plays, he said, are continuing to be addressed with the secondary, but what he's emphasizing is basically communication, which we heard last week from Trayvon saying communication was the issue.
It was actually really frustrating.
It's still communication.
Post-game,
which is not a surprise watching
he said it. He's like, well, we're still figuring things out. It's only week 3. There's still a lot of communication things to work out.
Listen.
What do you expect? We have a new staff and a new... Oh boy, man! Every time I read that quote or even just think about it, hear him say it, man, I get instantly heated.
Yeah,
instantly.
I mean, listen, it's the fact that it's week 3. This stuff. Do you know who has this kind of issue on week 3?
Who?
Teams that don't make the playoffs. Shitty teams.
Sure.
Those are the teams that have issues week 3 with communication, which is exactly where the hell we're at right now. So that's what he said. The communication issues on defense falls on the coaching. That's on you, Everfluss. He said, quote, we got to do a better job. He said also, of course, we'll talk about CeeDee Lamb, the injury there, that they were doing more imaging. That's after the game. He said Wanye Thomas was in the game to roll guys through at safety, to give others like Donovan Wilson, who, I guess he's implying that he was overworked. I don't know. But he's not having a good season, number 6. Donovan Wilson was the guy needing some breaks. And that's why Wanye Thomas, number 2, was getting in the game more often in this game. From the locker room side, from the players' side, I'm just doing a quick roundup here. George Pickens, after breaking his helmet on the sideline there, slamming it after dropping the easy pass, it could have got back in the game.
Yeah.
He declined to comment at all after the Bears lost. Is he crashing out yet? I'm not sure. Trayvon Diggs said the issues in the secondary were not communication, but execution. So now we had communication last week. Schottenheimer said communication is an issue on defense. We know it's communication because we see it. And then of course, we know if communication is an issue, execution is going to be an issue, right? But now Trayvon's saying it's execution. So what did he say after this game, maybe? Like more or less. I didn't even paraphrase.
I
kind of brought up a little
kind of mentioned it already, but yeah, like I said, he put most of the blame on the fact that, and I'm paraphrasing just because it was a longer quote, but he just said, well, it's only week 3. We have a new coaching staff. Yeah, we have a new scheme.
Because I was talking about Schottenheimer earlier. That's why I thought you said Schottenheimer said that.
No,
okay.
I made it clear it was Trayvon making excuses about the coaching.
Okay. Oh, I got you.
So,
yeah, because now it's not.
And like I said, it was just extra infuriating just because, again, it just is a lame excuse. But I do find it a little ridiculous that you have players over here saying, oh, it's this. And then on the other hand, you still have, damn, we can't even agree on a story if half of us are saying execution and the other half are saying it's coaching. Just want to throw that out there that it still does not lend to, no matter what, it's definitely a communication thing.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's also an execution thing. It's both.
And that's why I reiterate, when you have problems with communication, if you're not communicating properly on the field, you're going to have execution breakdowns. That's what miscommunication is. So I get what Trayvon's saying, and I know that he did. I know one play, I think he fell down. So it was on him. Mm-hmm. I know another one, Elam, walked up for some reason. So that is also, those are the execution issues. When Elam walks up and got burned in that flea flicker, that's execution. But there's other things where guys just stand there later on in the game, and guys just stand there wide open. DJ Moore getting a wide open touchdown. There's not a guy in sight. That's not execucation. That's communication. And like Schottenheimer said, coaching.
Shout out Seabass, by the way. And Moses Lopez said it. He's like, if I'm Diggs, I would have just said it's week 3. We got to do better, so let's go. Did not need all that extra stuff. And like I said, it makes, especially because so much of week 3 made Trayvon Diggs look like Boo Boo the Fool. It just makes him look weak sauce, too. Yeah. And, and there's all the other little layers to it. And we'll get to it more when we talk offense and all the other stuff. But, even just Pickens, like you said, kind of crashing out and seeing other players, either upset or basically borderline comatose on the sideline. No in between. Yeah. I don't know.
By the way, Seabass back in the States again. Much love to you, brother. And, Keep doing your thing, bro.
Yeah, glad to have you stateside once more.
Yes, appreciate you. Now as we continue this, I'm still talking a little bit about of course, starting off trying to get through the Bears game. I don't want to talk about the Bears game. It was such a bad game, and you got all our viewpoints and thoughts. I'll say it during the game.
Yeah,
that's where you always get our thoughts and viewpoints on the game. Of course, we clear up a couple things, go over a couple of things now. As you're doing now, but really I'm focusing on the Packers and moving on from this disgrace in week 3. But the player-wise. Diggs saying it was not communication, execution. CeeDee Lamb with the ankle injury said he thinks he can play next week. We'll talk more about that. But Jerry Jones also said similar things after the game. Kenny Clark, remember, he got hurt. I remember you brought that up, and I'm like, and you saw Jerry Jones' face, and he's like, oh my God, I just traded Micah, and we just got a player just got hurt after 2.5 games. But he got rolled up on with the ankle. We don't want to hear that. That means high ankle sprain or something. But he said he's fine, and he actually returned to the game. So big news there on Kenny Clark.
We dodged
a bullet.
One of many sized bullet.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other bullets we got hit with. Tyler Smith, not a bullet we got hit. Right. No, but it's not the Matrix. We're not missing any. Nothing's missing us. But Tyler, well, I guess one is Kenny Smith, but Tyler Smith on the other side of the ball there at offensive guard, focusing on the details and practice and plans on taking a step forward as a leader this week to the younger guys. So great to hear from Tyler Smith. I think he should have done that maybe before training camp. You know what I'm saying? If you're planning on doing this, why wait to week 4? I don't know, but I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just trying to really figure it out.
Point out that some of this
these
stuff
things
does not make sense. Yeah. At least to us.
I just don't understand how Schottenheimer we're 3 weeks behind, and Trayvon we're 3 weeks behind, and Tyler Smith 3 weeks behind. Everyone's 3 weeks behind.
Yeah.
Like, this is preseason should be ending right now with the mindset of this fucking team.
It makes me really wonder, like, what the fuck was going on during training camp. I know you posted
a lot of this. They were posting a lot of fucking things dancing around and shit. I was just
about to say, I'm like, I know half the shorts that you posted when it came to training camp and everything that was going on were basically like, it looked like summer camp, not training camp.
Yeah, it didn't even look like a high school, like a flag. I'd coach. I would never coach like that for my 10 to 13-year-old flag football kids. Never, ever. You're showing too much fooling around and weaknesses, in my opinion. I know you need a little bit of levity and fun, but we're trying to win football games, and it's still a business to the players, to the owner, to the coach, to everybody. So it's a bigger than just playing games up on the fucking sidelines. But we're not playing games here because, unfortunately, guys, and we all know what happened here. CeeDee Lamb's injury when he got rolled on by the Bears. I forgot which Bears player rolled on him, but right after the game, he did come back in and then bounced right out after one play, which a lot of people are saying it was a gambling reason for that. I'm not going to get.
There were deeper and more nefarious reasons for CeeDee Lamb to try to push himself to go back out there and play even just one more snap. Now,
I personally don't believe that stuff.
I call bullshit. We've seen CeeDee, and we also saw the way he was behaving. Like, he clearly wanted to be out there and kind of thought he could push through it. But the second that play was over, he was like, "Yeah, no, this does hurt a little too much."
I will say this before I go any farther about CeeDee Lamb and his injury. He did say that I tried to get back out there, but the coaches said no. That's a blatant lie, CeeDee. You got back out on that field, tried it one more time, and then you said no. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with CeeDee Lamb and all this crazy shit, but look, all we can do is just keep. I always rep that star. I don't care who's wearing it on this team. So, and CeeDee Lamb, I just hope that we get him back sooner than later. So as we found out right after the game, he suffered officially a high ankle sprain. But the word is it wasn't as bad. The sprain wasn't as severe as it initially
seemed. As it could have been?
As it initially was thought.
Okay.
Now, he came back the next day after imaging, and it said that he could come back within 3 to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks out.
That's definitely more positive than the initial, this looks like a bad 4 to 6 weeks.
Just so you know, high ankle sprains are 4 to 6 weeks, guys. Almost every single one. So 3 to 4 weeks is a great dodging of one of those Matrix bullets, I guess. But CeeDee Lamb, he did, again, this is 3 to 4 weeks now.
Way to go, CeeDee.
After a high left ankle sprain. But, of course, he's not playing. We'll tell you why he's out. But at the time, earlier in the week, it was still unsure. He could play. He was unlikely to play. He's not going to play against the Packers.
Steve said, that's some Madden shit.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
What's up, Jamal Burton?
Jamal in the house.
Much love back from the dead. Hey,
yeah, much love
can
to
you bring
you,
this
brother.
team back from the dead?
Come on, help us out. Let's revive this Cowboy team. And let's start this week against the Packers, I hope. I'm not betting on it, but I hope. Listen, so when it comes to CeeDee Lamb, what's the situation? Cowboys, they wanted to see initially how he's going to do the next 10 to 14 days before making any more determination. I think Jerry Jones even said, there's no rush. We have all the time in the world to wait on CeeDee and another player I'm going to talk about in a minute and determine whether they should go on IR or not. The next thing we heard is that the Cowboys do not plan on putting CeeDee Lamb on injured reserve with that high ankle sprain. This means that it gives him a chance to return prior to the 4-week cutoff, which would have been if he went on IR. he has to go out. He's out 4 weeks, and there's a ramp up period.
Yeah, obviously a very positive sign because that means that they are still holding out hope that he is going to be on that 3 to 4 week timeline, giving him that chance to come back after those 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think they're looking at
if he's good to go.
I think they're looking at 2 to 3 weeks. I think 2 weeks he's out for sure. 3 weeks I think is what they're looking at right now in a realistic way. But it could be 2 weeks. It could be it could be only 2 weeks. So we'll see. But either way, they said that he's going to miss this game. He has a chance to of course return prior to the 4 weeks because he's not put on an IR, at least not yet.
Yeah.
But they're basically saying they're guaranteeing he's going to miss the next 2 weeks of games. That's almost a definite thing. And after that, he'll be considered week to week, is what they're saying. And kind of evaluate him as the week goes on, see if he can play. So again, CeeDee Lamb's version of this, he said, quote, I feel absolutely fine. And he says he can play through it. That's what he's saying. But he said that the medical team said otherwise, which we saw him come back out there and he called himself out of the game. CeeDee was, after the game, in a boot and moving around on a scooter. Not after the game, but in the facility the next day. So again, he was there, needed some help with the doors. My point is that CeeDee Lamb is taking all precautions here in a boot and on a scooter, right, riding around there, protecting that leg.
Again, a nice, refreshing change of pace from the usual. Players disregards all health advice, does whatever he wants anyway.
Yeah.
Let me see. And yeah, the swelling was pretty bad on it, Moses. It happened pretty quickly there, too. And Seabass saying, activate blue for fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's still a question mark there. Still not consistent.
I wish that they would just, I don't want to say they, but I wish even an inside source would just kind of let us know, like, what is the deal with blue and why hasn't he been at least activated at this point? You know what I mean? So... because his hands must be way worse than anybody's letting on if that's the case. Hit the wrong one there. Which is my thought process there, at least. Yeah.
No, I hear you. I mean, I think that there's, for a rookie like Jaden Blue, I think there's some inconsistency going on with him right now. And that is, fumbling the ball is something we cannot afford. So that's, I think, his biggest inconsistency. Either way, we'll figure out more.
I mean, hard to complain because realistically speaking, our run game has been doing pretty solid. So
other than the 2 fumbles by both of our other running backs, Miles Sanders in week 1, which killed us in the Eagle game, basically almost ended that game. And then the way this Chicago game in week 3 ended, or started, I should say, with Williams with some great running in this game, but unfortunately that first fumble killed the drive and killed really, it felt like the Cowboys' heart, the passion for the rest of the game. So now that CeeDee Lamb is out multiple weeks, I'm going to move on from CeeDee. He's out this week. And I'm going to go over the injury list in a minute, but just so everyone knows, he's out, of course. But I want to say, what's the next step going forward? Who's going to step up for him? So, of course, you think, George Pickens. But before I get to George Pickens, what about Ferguson? He really has a chance to stack up a lot of catches. And not only that, but I think he has the most receptions through 3 games in Dallas Cowboy franchise history. When it comes to Jake Ferguson, he has 27 catches in 3 games. That's a record in franchise history. And right now in the NFL, he's only trailing Puka Nacua from the Rams with 2.
Oh wow!
He has 29 catches, so he's only 2 back. And if he has 2 weeks, a solid 8, 9, 10. He had 13 plus catches last game. I think Ferguson is a guy who's going to get a lot of usage and a lot of catches the next couple of weeks. Expect him to be the leading receiver in catches in the NFL, someone like Ferguson. Now, what about the other obvious choice is George Pickens? And I think George Pickens, here's what he said. And what do you think about this, baby? Because George Pickens, after the game, speaking about CeeDee Lamb, said, quote, "To my friend CeeDee, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I will see you in Valhalla." End quote.
Now... I know I wasn't the only one who read that and said, what the fuck? CeeDee died? Because the movie he's talking about, it makes it seem like he died. But no.
Explain what that is.
If you guys don't know, Valhalla is basically like Viking heaven, right? In like Thor and Loki and all that kind of mythology and all that stuff. So he's basically saying, like, buddy, I'll see you up in heaven. Like, CeeDee Lamb's right here. Yeah, he's injured. Yeah. He's not dead.
He's gone for 2 weeks maybe.
After that heart attack passed, I was like, okay, I kind of get it. Right. And Valhalla's also, by the way, in case you know, it's not just like Viking heaven. It's like warrior heaven, for those who die in battle and stuff. So he's trying to say that he went down fighting well.
He went down in battle.
So
there's George Pickens' thoughts. But I also think that Schottenheimer says that, quote, George has been a true number one, and we've been blessed to have two number ones. So
if you can keep your shit
that
together,
means that if you don't crash out, that means that even though without CeeDee Lamb for 2 or 3 weeks, George Pickens is still the number one. We shouldn't really miss too much there. I think that there's different things he can do better than CeeDee Lamb, and there's things CeeDee Lamb can do better than George Pickens. I want them both out there because we're a much better offensive team, but we scored 14 points, and then we didn't have CeeDee Lamb. We scored nothing. So I'm just saying, like, obviously we got to have George Pickens be more integrated into this offense as a number one, not just as a 1B, is what he was, right? So we're going to see that, I'm sure, happening for this game against the Packers if Dak has time. But here's another weird situation I do want to bring up when it comes to George Pickens, if you don't mind. Let me throw George Pickens on the screen. Listen to this. Ow, it hit me in the eye. But it's a weird thing here. George Pickens has the exact same stat line 2 weeks in a row. Again, he had 5 catches on 9 targets.
Okay.
5 catches and 9 targets for 68 yards and a touchdown against the Giants. Same exact numbers against the Bears. 9 targets, 68 yards, and a touchdown. 5 catches on 9 targets. 68 yards to the exact number, and a touchdown. So back-to-back games, the exact same numbers for George Pickens. Now, I will say again, he really hurt. The game there's a lot of different reasons, but there's a point where he really hurt us with the ball hit off his hands, and it was intercepted by the Bears, and it really changed the finality in the fourth quarter there of the momentum that we might have had with scoring and making a 10-point game with 6 minutes to go, 7 minutes to go. It's still a game, right? Well, he was visibly frustrated after the pass went off his hands. It was intercepted by the Bears on the sideline. I think he broke his helmet. He slammed it a bunch of times on the ground. I understand the anger, but the players had to come over and calm him down. And then after the game, I'm curious to know what you and the fans think here. After the game, George Pickens posted a photo of himself making a play on Instagram, set to a song called "I Don't Care" with the caption literally underneath it. And I say literally, the caption was literally, which is written underneath it. So I don't care, literally. And this was right after the Cowboys lost 31-14 to the Bears. And he threw a temper tantrum on the sideline after dropping that pass. So is this an issue, you think, or just a one-time thing with him? I think it's a one-time thing for now, but it could be an issue because he's shown this kind of stuff.
I mean, look,
in the
you
past.
don't get in bed with crazy and then act surprised when they start swinging a little. So as long as it's this type of crazy, I think we should be okay because it's like the manageable kind. But you kind of said it. If the CD situation somehow extends, let's say, longer than the more optimistic 3 weeks, I feel like you're going to start seeing those cracks in Pickens more and more just because, he already had his own stuff going on. Add that to the kind of Cowboys insanity that is the Cowboys on top of that. That's kind of a lot for anybody, especially someone who maybe isn't feeling 100% to handle. Let's put it that way. So the most respectful way. Seabass said, I don't consider the Pickens helmet incident a crash out because it happened after a drop pass. I think he's just adequately critical of himself, and he should be like, oh, I should have caught the ball.
Right, and I would, if it wasn't for this past history, I'd say true. But I'm not saying he's even crashing out. I'm just saying it sometimes feels like he's almost at that point. Like at any moment he could, lose it. Now I think it's too early this season for him to crash out. I'm just saying, could this be the first of his crash outs, so to speak? I hope not.
So, again, just wanted to throw that out there. And Jamal Burton, by the way, and Bad Intentions both said, this is George Pickens' time to earn his contract and when you're going to really see what George Pickens is really made of. So, hey, I hope so, because this is like one of the only good moves that I liked by our front office. Yeah,
we're making a trade for Pickens. Hopefully this works out. If it does, we'll get our 3rd-round pick back. That's the hope in this. That's the hope.
Let me see. And Danny's Dallas Cowboys. What's up? Bad Intentions. We have, of course, Moses, Seabass, Jamal.
Yeah, much love.
Thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe,
and haven't done a little
all that good stuff.
Commercial break yet, so take a second to hit like if you haven't. Subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell. And don't forget, guys, follow us anywhere and everywhere. At MyCowboysFamily. Yeah,
and that raffle, basically we have what, tonight and then the game day? On Sunday, and then we basically have our raffle set. So last chances to get in, whether you're in the star level at 1 entry over everything level, 2 entries, the sponsor of the quarter or / this one will be the sponsor of the month, John Luna. Whoever it may be, guys, the last chances to get in this raffle. Just letting you guys know. Now, I do want to continue this here real quick because I want you to say what did Bad Intentions say? The last thing he said. He had made a comment there. I'm talking to you, baby. Bad Intentions. The guy. What was his last?
About the Booker. Sorry, he said Tyler Booker was playing like a dog. He's truly going to be missed these next couple weeks.
And that is what I'm going to talk about next. And it's important to understand here that
it's like the injury stick literally went
we
bam,
talked
bam.
about CeeDee Lamb. Now we're going to move over to Tyler Booker, our rookie first-round pick here, pick number 12 overall, who was playing like a dog. 100% agree. I have to talk about this. This was literally the next day. Came out of left field. And if you watch the video I posted in the shorts video, guys, it was basically the second to last drive. Milton threw an interception the following play, but it looked like Miles Sanders basically ran through the hole, fell on Booker's left leg, and hurt his ankle. Now he has a real high ankle sprain, not the CeeDee Lamb kind, a real one. Cowboys are going to be without our rookie guard, 12th overall pick, first rounder, Tyler Booker, for the next 4 to 6 weeks. That's a major blow for our offensive line. And the reason is because of that Miles Sanders fall on his left ankle, causing a high ankle sprain, which he suffered literally like in the last 4 plays of the game.
Yeah.
Which he shouldn't have been fucking out there.
Worst
he shouldn't have been out there. We had Milton out there. We had given up the game. We were running the ball to run the clock out. And Miles Sanders ran on Booker's leg and hurt him. So if anything, Miles Sanders has hurt us 2 times. A fumble and cost us the Eagle game. He's an Eagle, I think. He's still an Eagle because he hurt us in the Eagle game and then he hurt us in this game in a big way for the next game. Really not in the Bears game. He hurt us for the Packers.
Yeah, definitely feel like he's going back to some old habits to earn that paycheck.
But Tyler Booker out 4 to 6 weeks, high ankle sprain, suffering against the Bears. He played all. I want you to know he came back in the game after this high ankle sprain issue. He played all 74 snaps.
Oh.
So he got hurt. It looks like he got hurt in that play. A little gimpy, but he played it out. You know what I'm saying? When they looked at it later, it was a high ankle sprain. And so now what's going to happen? What's the next step here? TJ Bass is going to be the starter. That's already, by the way, I just want you to know, there's some question about that, but today Schottenheimer did say TJ Bass is going to be our starter. Now remember, Brock Hoffman's already starting at center for Cooper Beebe out at least a couple more weeks. With that, so the thing is that we have Cooper Beebe out. He's replaced by Brock Hoffman. Played well, but still an undrafted guy who's starting. TJ Bass also has played well in the past, but he's also an undrafted guy who's now starting in the middle of our offensive line. If and when Micah Parsons runs a stunt play, instead of when he rushes, instead of coming from the outside to the tackles, he's going to go inside around and kind of squeeze around the interior pass rusher hitting the tackle. Yeah. He's going to go into the guard center area and pick on TJ Bass and Brock Hoffman a lot in this game. So that's going to be a major thing to watch. Now, I do want to say that Tyler Booker also on a scooter like CeeDee Lamb on Monday after getting back to Dallas, I guess, and for being around the area. But the Cowboys are not catching any breaks here with 2 offensive starters and honestly first-round picks. Let's talk about that. Right? I mean, CD was 18th, right? I think he was 12th. So I'm saying 2 first-round picks on our offense out for 1 3 to 4 weeks, 1 4 to 6 weeks. But Booker's out 4 to 6 weeks. So again, I want to reiterate: Hoffman got his first start at center in week 3. TJ Bass is going to prep this entire week and is joining him for his first start. I guess not his first start, but basically prepping him 1 week later to jump in there as a starter at the right guard spot. CeeDee Lamb, Cooper Beebe, and Tyler Booker. All 3 of these guys are going to miss at least 2 weeks or more. 2 to 6 weeks of time.
Let's be real.
Major blow.
Do we think that Dak will be able to last long enough to start getting some of these pieces back? Because like you said, it'd be one thing if we're missing one starter, right? Like, our offensive line went from fully healthy, ready to go, to holy shit, we have a major problem in the span of not even 2 weeks.
And I will say it's great that we have good replacement, decent replacement guys for 2 or 3 games, not season-long replacement guys, but for 2 games. Brock Hoffman does a great job. TJ Bass has done a great job as backups for a couple games. Now you got to go 9 weeks. We're fucked. I'm trying to make sure people understand the difference with that.
But even, like I said, we have to still even make it that far.
I agree. And that's the thing, though. When you lose these guys, that's when guys get hurt. Other guys get hurt, like Dak Prescott. That's when the running game stops working so well. When you have injuries like this. When the passing game and the run game, the offensive line breaks down, and you got your number one receiver breaking down, this is what happens, unfortunately. So, what's our offensive line going to look like now on Sunday against Green Bay? We're going to have left tackle Tyler Guyton, left guard Tyler Smith. That's solid. Very good. Very, very good. Brock Hoffman in the middle at center. He did well last week. TJ Bass has done okay at that right guard spot, but he's taking over for Tyler Booker. And then Terrence Steele next to him. I'm just letting you know, Terrence Steele's got to, bear a lot of that weight. That's going to be, TJ Bass's assignments or duties. You have to help out.
Yeah.
What happens when Micah's coming at him? And then what happens when Micah goes inside and goes against TJ Bass and Brock Hoffman and breaks inside on a stunt?
Yeah, Bad Intention wants to know what's up with Tyler Guyton. Bass said, Pickens is cool, but I do not want to see Tolbert.
Yeah, I Tolbert automatically comes in there. We got Cavante Turpin's going to be the number 2 now, so it's going to be Turpin, Tolbert, and of course George Pickens are number 1. But I want to go back for a second. I'm going to talk about the receivers in a minute. It was that Seabass said that, but I want to talk about our offensive line. Guyton, Smith. Well, Guyton's playing okay. I'm going to say better than I thought he would at this point, but he got fined for an Eagle bitch slap right there. I like that. But anyway, Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith. Fantastic as can be there, doing good. Cooper Beebe and Tyler Booker are doing great inside. But they're both out now. We got Hoffman and Bass, and then Terrence Steele was doing good when we had our starters in there. How will he do when we have two backups undrafted next to him? And I'm talking about next to him as in right next to him, TJ Bass, and then next to him, Hoffman. I mean, they all have to help each other. Is Terrence Steele ready for that? Not an ideal situation for the homecoming of Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about that in a minute as well.
Which, by the way, Jerry went all over the place when this topic was brought up. It was kind of funny. Yeah, when it came about Micah? We'll talk about that in a minute here. When it's more, I'm going to say, Packer related. We're still talking injuries here. Number one, always.
But Jerry's
Jones bullshittery.
But Jerry Jones, well, maybe you want to jump in here and say, because Jerry did say something here about our injury situation. Jerry said this. He says he'll consider now, this is today, consider placing wide receiver CeeDee Lamb and right guard Tyler Booker on IR. He will consider it. He's saying they're going to miss games, but of course we know being on IR means you miss automatically 4 weeks. Booker's 4 to 6 weeks. To me, he should go on that list. And the reason when you want to do it as quick as possible, so they can get off of it as quick as possible if they go to IR. But they haven't done it yet for either player. CeeDee Lamb seems like he'll be under 4 weeks, but Tyler Booker, I don't think so. So that's when we put Cooper Beebe. He got 4 to 6 or 6 to 8, right? Yeah. And he's on IR. So Cowboys, I don't think know what they're going to do yet. Jerry Jones said, "quote We're looking at that right now as far as putting them on IR or not." He said, "quote We'll watch it for a few more days. We don't have to decide right now." End quote. But like I said, the last thing I heard, the expectation is currently they don't think they're going to go on IR. I think it's going to be CeeDee Lamb won't go on IR, but Tyler Booker will. And I think that they could wait one more week with Booker because it's 4 to 6 weeks. So if he's out 5 weeks, it's fine because it's still in that 4 to 6 week window. If they do it to CeeDee Lamb, that's another bad move by the Cowboys. Not that they can't. They should have done it a week earlier. So you get CeeDee Lamb back a week earlier. Yeah. Instead of losing him for 4 straight weeks. And we're talking about CeeDee Lamb. And I know that's what kind of, we talked about Pickens stepping up. Ferguson stepping up. We know at receiver Turpin is going to have to step up with that neck and everything. But with the CeeDee Lamb situation gone, listen to the other receivers we have. Listen to our receivers. But no,
now, like you said, now that CeeDee's down for the count, like,
for at least
how
2
are they
weeks,
going to be stepping it up?
2 to 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, let's say. But I'm saying we talked about the offensive line. Let's talk about the receiving situation. Because without CeeDee Lamb, we have George Pickens, Cavante Turpin, Jalen Tolbert, and Ryan Flournoy. 4 guys, 4 wide receivers. Sometimes there's some plays that you could put in 4 receivers, like in one play. There's some plays you can put 5 receivers in if you wanted to. Guys, what I'm trying to say is we have 4 receivers right now on our 53-man roster, and if one guy gets hurt, we have 3. So that means to me, I think we're going to elevate a guy like Trayshawn Holden. Would have been a guy I think we could have elevated as a 5th receiver, just in case. But I think we already made a decision on this, and it's not going to be him. Also, I want to say that a number of players, a lot of players, that are off the 53-man injury, 53-man roster because of injuries in the NFL. The Lions have 15 starters, or not starters, 15 players out of 53 that are off of the 53-man roster on an injury reserve situation, on a PUP situation, on an NFI list, like we have Savon Ravel Jr. He's on the NFI list. Those guys like any IR, NFI, or PUP list. The Lions have 15 guys. That's a lot. The Niners, the Cardinals, and Dolphins have 14. The Saints and the Texans have 12. And then the Cowboys, the Giants, the Chargers, and Chiefs have 10. Just so you know, the Packers have 8 guys. But the thing about our guys, though, is that I think, we got like 3 guys that we still have on our roster that are not going to play this week. 2 guys, maybe. Like CeeDee Lamb. And again, we didn't know if DaRon Bland was going to play this week. We'll talk about that. CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Booker. I'm just saying, if you add those, now we have 13 guys technically, and we're literally like second or third highest team with missing players from your 53-man roster. That's what we got going on for us right now. Again, one of the top teams in missing players. And it's funny, the Lions, they're still, are they undefeated still? Are they 3-0? I think, they're 2-1. They're 2-1. And the thing is that they were able to do that with missing 15 guys off the 53-man roster for injury reasons. So, yeah, the Motor City's crew there is getting in there pretty good and looking good for being as banged up as they are. Now, let's talk about the injuries official for this game. Now we could start moving our thoughts and our attention towards this game. So, first and foremost, as I said, no surprise, CeeDee Lamb ruled out for this game. He didn't practice all week. We knew that was going to happen. Another guy we know ruled out for this game, and I just talked about him, rookie offensive guard, Tyler Booker. So both guys ruled out. Those are the only 2 guys that have any game designation. Those are the only 2 guys that are ruled out 100% for this game. So no, again, we talk about them both the whole time through here. About CeeDee and Tyler Booker. They're both out for this week. We knew this already, even though there's a chance that one or both could still go on IR, I guess. But both have high ankle sprains. Both are out for this game. Both were injured in last Sunday's loss. Embarrassing loss, 31-14 to the Bears. So the Cowboys did not issue a game status designation for the other 3 guys on our list there. One of them was Turquoise Bridges with a knee injury. Again, Turquoise is a guy who's looking at, basically he's our backup slot cornerback, believe it or not. Yeah, I know, you're like, who? Yeah, I talked about him before he started the Week 1 game as who's going to play the slot spot Week 2 game against the Giants. Who's going to start in that slot without DaRon Bland? And, of course, we had Steady, what's his name? Reddy Stewart. I'm sorry. Reddy Stewart jumped in there, number 27, and he came in there with Turquoise to fight for that spot. Turquoise is the backup, but now he's the third stringer because now Bland is back to his slot corner spot. We'll talk about that in a minute. So, DaRon Bland, great news there because he has no game status designation. And this week, with that foot injury, he was limited on Wednesday. But on Thursday and on Friday, DaRon Bland, let me put him up here because he deserves to be up here because he's basically, I think he's maybe our best corner, if I dare say. DaRon Bland, I mean, you can say about the versatility and mobility where you can move him around anywhere in the field. That's something that you can't do with Trayvon. You can't put Trayvon Diggs in the slot. So DaRon Bland, that's the great news. Of all the bad news we're talking about, that's the great news. He's back a little earlier, and he's back for this game against the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, at least we get some good news.
A little bit of good news. So, again, DaRon Bland with the foot injury, and also Trayvon Diggs, who had a knee issue this week, did not practice on Wednesday, but was full on Thursday and full on Friday. So he's good to go. And again, Turquoise, had a knee issue. He was also limited on Wednesday, but was full on Thursday and full practice on Friday. All 3 guys are going to be active for this game. And the reason I know that is because, Trayvon Diggs and DaRon Bland both not only full participants, but both expected to play Sunday night against the Packers. That's a huge help for our cornerback situation. We have all 3 starters in there. Unfortunately, Elam is the other guy. Will he be the broken guy? We'll see. But right now, first drop of the night through here, through the super chat side, Mr. Calvin Richard hitting the bullseye, 1 of 20. You never know, right? You never know. Shout outs to Mr. Calvin Richard. And
Thank
what
you so much.
Did he say, Calvin Richard, with that 5 on it?
I'm not worried about the slot. Who's going to start at safety? I think it's time for a change.
At safety?
Basically, yeah. Like, I'm not worried about the slot. Like, who's starting at safety?
So, well, I'm just saying,
I got to do something about that.
You have Malik Hooker, and you have Donovan Wilson, and the guy they use.
By the way, baby, let me help you out here just because they're trying to say it's Triquez.
Oh, I said Triqueezy. Triquez? Sorry, I just... okay, Triquez probably won't... He'll try to play, but he probably not play much. Because
thank you guys in the chat. We need... clearly, we need all the help. Yeah. Triquez. All right,
Triquez. Yeah, sorry. I read that.
I will say, like, seeing it spelled out, I am a little...
When I hear Triquez, it makes sense, but...
Like, I won't roast Mr. MCF. It's not that type of channel.
Yeah, next time you can do you'll do the names,
hey,
and I'll do the color commentary.
So now I know Seabass is asking for, Calvin Richard is asking for who the fuck is starting at safety. Jamal Burton's like, I'm ready to change the defensive coordinator. And
again, I wanted to say that I think the issue is defensive coordinator over safety because Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker had no issues under Dan Quinn. And they played great under Dan Quinn. They had maybe issues because of not Mike Nolan, but Mike Zimmer last year. 3 new defensive coordinators in 3 years. Will fuck with you a little bit. But now the safeties have different, different kind of roles, and you got a team that's 3 weeks behind. It seems, and also it seems like Everfluss is not. This is the breakdown comes from the coaching to the communication. Then of course you see it in execution.
I know we haven't actually fired a defensive coordinator in the middle of the season or anything like that.
This would be the guy.
But damn, I wish you would have just left Everfluss back in Chicago.
Yeah, it would have been nice. I would just tell you that. So I don't think so that's why I agree with Jamal Burton, and that's why even though I think we could improve the safety spots. I do, but we needed to get Bland. I think Bland and Trayvon Diggs together makes it easier for everyone else. I'm talking about the safeties. I'm talking about, number 20, Elam. It makes it easier for all these guys. If we can, we got Bland back to, starting ability. We have Diggs back to starting ability. You got both those guys on the field with Elam. That makes Elam look better. It's kind of like Jordan and Pippen is going to make the other guys look better on the Bulls, So, again, I'm not saying that these guys are Jordan and Pippen. I'm just trying to say that when you have your 2 best corners, your third guy is going to be able to kind of, is going to probably be picked on but can play a little closer, and you can focus on maybe the safeties deeper on his side because he might be the riskier guy to kind of let one-on-one, because you saw what Elam did last week, just blow a lot of coverage. So, to me, the 3 guys is where... those 3 guys starting can change things, and it'll make it easier for Malik Hooker and Wilson.
Yeah.
But I think if you got to take a guy there, Calvin Richard, I think it's going to be someone like we just heard it. The guy who was the 3rd guy in the mix. We heard Everfluss say it. It was Wanye Thomas, number 2. I think you got Marquise Bell, also number 14, in the mix. It's very good safeties we got there. We could rotate them more than just focusing on the 2 safeties we have starting. We need more Wanye Thomas. We need more Marquise Bell. I do agree with that. But I think that both guys now starting and even the backups will play better when we have Bland. We have Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs and the best we got as our 3rd guy, which is Elam. So much love once again to Calvin Richard, who dropped another 5 on it. That's 2 out of 20 up on that deal right there. So yeah,
and you know what he had to say?
Little back on there, but we're 18 away from hitting the goal. What did the man Calvin Richard have to say, baby?
I don't think that he has the personnel for his defensive philosophy.
I agree.
I'm trying to figure out what the fuck kind of personnel would be able to execute that philosophy at the level that he's trying to.
I think I think I'm going to talk about this as well when it comes to this game. I do have a couple of things of the way they had to simplify things to a point where it's just one word now. They have to simplify it so much for the defense in this Everfluss defensive scheme to make it the communication flow better. This week we went from going, from week 1, 2, 3. Now we're in week 4, and we're going down to one word to make things simpler for our team. And I'm assuming it's a lot of stuff on the fly. It's not that they're dummies. It's just a lot of things. Maybe you're overdoing it. Like Mike Nolan did When we started with McCarthy, it feels like Mike Nolan.
A little too complicated.
I said this before, week 1. I said it looks like Mike Nolan's defense out there again because Mike Nolan had this overcomplication of things and it made the players look horrible. When in reality, it was not really on these players in that way that it looked. Although, as we know, there was a slip in this Bears game by Trayvon. There was some other miscommunication that led to poor execution. So those are the things that when you look back, it comes down to the coaching. Who's not teaching these players the proper communication on the field that they need this in to then execute properly. DaRon Bland, all he's going to do is make life a little bit easier overall for the defense. That's what he's going to do. And Calvin Richard, and he's moving on up this board here.
That's right.
I haven't updated it yet, but he is moving up this board, and he's dropping another 5 on it. What did he hit to say, baby? Let me hear the breakdown from Mr. Calvin Richard.
He said 85 Bears, 46 defense didn't work. Until he had the right personnel.
That's very true. Buddy Ryan he's talking about, by the way.
Yeah, and then 85.
Yeah,
so.
No, the 85 Bears, Buddy Ryan was defensive coordinator, he was a failure up until that point when he got the right guys. And, Singletary, Dent, and on and on.
I mean, Dallas is probably the worst place to go.
And start over like that.
If what you're trying to do is build a defense with your right guys. Because you're going to build a defense with whatever the front office and Jerry Jones think are the right guys.
Yeah, and that's the failure of this team. The fact that Jerry Jones, and this goes to the Mark Hovsepian, aloha to him, by the way, but this goes to the Mark Hovsepian mindset of thinking that Jerry Jones overhypes his, whether he does it because he wants to make money, but he does it because he actually also believes it. He believes that undrafted Brock Hoffman and undrafted TJ Bass are much better than anybody else, any other veteran starter from another team.
And hey, I will pose that question in the chat just because I see bad intentions bringing it up too, but, with the whole Micah trade, of course that's going to impact your defense.
Yes,
doesn't matter how you
majorly.
feel, doesn't matter how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Of course that's going to impact your defense when you're doing it a week before the regular season starts in a way that is obviously not well thought out or planned.
And we thought we were going to have him this year. I mean, the EverPlus defense was formed
So,
around Micah Parsons.
So I was going to say
in a way, Jerry fucked us.
Yeah, we need to have maybe not sympathy, but a little bit of understanding. Because if I'm EverPlus, I'm building everything I do around Micah and every single fart he has on the field.
Yeah, bad intentions
now
is right.
all of a sudden he's gone.
Yeah, that's a great point about bad intentions. That's a great point. And it is, when you build it around knowing that you're going to get that pressure from when your front four, it's going to make the coverage a little easier. Now, the communication in the back end, they probably never thought they'd have to take this. There's no excuses, but they probably thought they had to cover that long because they thought they had Micah Parsons. You know what a good coach does, though? A good coach, they adapt. And EverPlus is not showing you as a good enough coach to adapt that quickly. I know it's still quick, but now we got a month under our belt. It's time to get it fixed, and it's not coming close to getting fixed. And I don't know if it ever will at this point. And we can say it's not his fault or it's his fault but the point is that it doesn't even matter anymore. It's a group organizational fault, and it goes from the front office, starts there, shit trickles down the hill, and it goes right on to the coaches, who then have to work with the players they're given because of the front office decisions. And you can say Mozzie Smith, Taco Charlton, and a lot of other motherfuckers too. So anyways, I'll keep going here. Much love to Calvin Richard, who's single-handedly just chipping. He's just chipping away at the big mountain, the big tree there as 20. Well, we got 17 to go here. So thank you, brother. Appreciate Mr. Calvin Richard. And hey, maybe we get to that number, and hey, you can have a good chance to get into the main raffle. Now, I do want to continue though. That's okay. I talked about a couple injuries. I talked about the fact that we'll have our starting 3 corners out there, our starting 2 safeties. That's a good thing for the Cowboys, even if I don't think they're all 100%. And I'm talking about Trayvon and DaRon Bland, but it's better than having Elam playing out there without anyone.
Yeah.
Without anybody else, because we're going with
that is not the happy alternative.
Turquoise, what's his name? and Reddy Stewart. We're fucked. Just letting you know. So, yeah. So again, just so you guys know, DaRon Bland himself said that he's going to Triquez. Yeah. DaRon Bland himself is going to play this game. He said this. He said that he missed the last 2 games, but he said, I never feared that this injury was as severe as the one I had last year, not even close. It was the opposite foot and a different issue. So if you're worried about him, maybe, it's a re-injury, he's going to be missing some games this year because of the same injury from last year. No, he could miss it later on because of last year's injury. He could miss later on in the season because of this injury. But right now, it's 2 different injuries, 2 different situations, 2 different feet. So there you go. Now, Stephen Jones, this is kind of when I want to go back here. Stephen Jones had opened his mouth and say something here. Now, he did say that, and again, I want to go back to the injury situation from CeeDee Lamb and Tyler Booker. Stephen Jones said this today, that they'll determine next week. Now, it was going to be this week. They're going to wait till next week to determine if CeeDee Lamb with the high ankle sprain or Tyler Booker with the high ankle sprain will go on injury reserve. So it's still a question. Even though we heard they're not going to go, now they're still thinking about it.
Yeah.
So
it ain't easy being Triqueasy.
Triqueasy or Taqueeze. Either way, I like Triqueasy. I like that one better. I'm going to adopt that name. It's Triqueasy for now. God damn it. That's it. That's the way we do this here on IMCF.
Hey, not the first or the last time.
Not the first or last. We fuck up a name and just roll with it and it works. Triqueasy, baby. Let's go. That's my new favorite player now. What number is he? Anyways, I'm sitting here looking at the whiteboard cracking up.
At this point, whatever number you want him to be.
No, number 100. How about that one?
25.
Let's go. I'm in. Let's go. Triqueasy style. So listen. I get off my game here, and then you guys have me all crazy here.
Shaun the Sheep said Triqueenie.
No, nobody tried Queenie in the history of humanity. Please, nobody tried Queenie.
Jamal, I do think it was a shoddy decision, the Iverflus move, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was a shoddy move. I think you got to remember, what is the history of Everfluss? He started with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
When there was no shoddy here. So it's a Jerry Jones move, I think. I think it's more like, yeah, he ran it by Shoddy, but Shoddy was going to say no to the boss. He's like, let's bring Everfluss back. We let him go to the Colts, and we let him get away, and then he got to the Bears, and head coach there, and, it just didn't work out. But now he's there, and let's get him back and make him a star like we did with Zimmer back in the 2000s, It's just under Parcells. Yeah, that's part of the problem, the coaching. You had Parcells with Zimmer, and with this situation, you have Schottenheimer, who, they're both not proven. And let's just be honest about it. And I include Schottenheimer in there. So anyway, look, but Everfluss, major issues. Now, let me continue this because Stephen Jones said that they're both in walking boots right now. And they'll be reevaluated once again. Now, this whole week they're being reevaluated. Sound like they were not going IR. Next week they're going to be reevaluated once again. I think that just means for CeeDee Lamb, can he play? For Tyler Booker, should he go in IR? That's what I think.
And again, it is worth it to, like I said, give them the chance just because it's like that balance of risk-reward where, like, okay, maybe they'll be ready before then, maybe they won't be. But if there's even a chance, I think it's worth exploring. Just trying to wait it out. You know?
That's why I'm saying that when it comes to CeeDee Lamb, that's a real, 3-4 weeks. Okay, I can see. But Tyler Booker is 4 to 6. It's more, and the thing is that, okay, so it's 4 to 6 weeks. So after this week it'll be what? 3 to 5 weeks?
Yeah.
So missing 4 weeks. If you go on IR, you got to miss 4 weeks. So missing 4 weeks, not risky waiting a week on Tyler Booker and see if he can come back in 4 weeks overall, maybe, right?
No, you're right. That one makes more sense just because of also, it's not just
they both make
injury.
sense.
It's the severity. I know, but it's the severity of the injury there. Right. Whereas with CeeDee Lamb,
it's about can he
just
play.
The fact that he even tried to tough it out for that one play lets you know, okay, his is definitely on the not as bad side of the spectrum.
And perfect. And they're both high ankle sprains. So that's what I'm trying to say. The severities are different. Tyler Booker, to take a little longer, they have an extra week to kind of see where he's going with it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. And with CeeDee Lamb, they better not put him on IR because then it'd be stupid. Now you got to wait. Now you just lost a week, and you got to wait 4 more weeks. Yeah. And it's supposed to be a 3 to 4 week injury. So you understand why? So I'm assuming CD is to make sure he can play maybe next week. And with Booker, should have put him on IR. I believe Booker will go on IR probably Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
I believe CeeDee Lamb, they'll probably hear on Wednesday and Thursday that he'll practice, and maybe there's a chance, an outside chance. He probably won't play, though, for 1 more week. And then after that, I expect him probably to be back, if he even had a chance, next week. So, anyways, that's the injury situation. Let me ask you guys about another guy that we talked about him last week. I told you guys he was not going to play. No one wanted to believe me. Everyone's like, no, he's going to play. And then we finally talked about it, and he's not playing, and that is Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney, of course, who is somebody that the Cowboys signed last week.
Yeah.
He got arrested.
Fans are obviously very eager to have him out there.
Yeah, pass rusher. A true pass rusher. Is he over the hill? We'll have to wait and see, but he's going to get his first chance this week We knew that. I told you guys last week Jadeveon Clowney was not going to play. Not because he got arrested. That arrest should have been more of a citation. But that's not going to affect his ability to play any games in the future. I don't think he's not going to get suspended. But I think it was just getting to know this fucked up Everfluss defense, honestly, even as a pass rusher. So we're going to see him this week. The question I had is how many snaps will he be playing? Will he play all 60 or 70 snaps on defense? Probably not. Will he play at least half the game? 30 to 40 snaps? No. Stephen Jones said this today. They're looking at 15 to 20 snaps from Jadeveon Clowney.
They're really easing him in.
They're really easing him. So, guys, if you want to see a lot of Jadeveon Clowney, number 42, you're not going to see a lot of him this game. You're going to see about 15 to 20 snaps. You might get lucky and see 25 snaps. That's the best you're going to get. That's as close to half as you're going to get of this game.
Now, I just said in the chat, but that's a big difference between the way that we handled Clark coming onto the team versus Clowney.
Can I explain why, though?
Who
asked that?
No, that was me saying it.
Let me explain why. Let me explain. It's a good question, but I got a better answer.
Go for it.
Kenny Clark was on what team? The Packers. He was working already. He was practicing. He was doing training camp. He was acclimated already. Okay, coming to the Cowboys, you're right there. Jadeveon Clowney is not acclimated. He's just doing his own working now. He's not any team. He's a free agent.
That is an excellent point.
There you go.
That's an excellent point. So you're right.
That's what we do here. We bounce ideas back and forth.
Clark was more ready to go.
Yes.
Clowney did need that extra time.
Yes.
So good to understand some of the mindset and decisions behind how exactly it all went down.
And also, remember, he's back even faster than I would have thought. But the reason why, not back faster than I would have thought, but he's back fast enough where he's in the game already. And he's going to get 15 to 20 snaps. That's why they're still taking it easy on him. But it's also, I think, the defense. Also, defensive edge rusher, it's not as complex as coverage or linebacker, being a cornerback. You can rush it. It's still complex, but it's still there's other things.
It requires different things. It is easier for an experienced gentleman such as Clowney
to be
able to pop in like that, because you don't need to, obviously being a part of the secondary does require more knowledge of the actual scheme and communication, because you got to know what it is that they're telling you.
The big part for Clowney is to know if there's if they're marked, if they're, he don't have to really worry about what the rest of the guys are doing. In a way, as long as he does his job, the rest guys got to do theirs. So we'll see him for 15 to 20 snaps this week. Probably means next week, half the game or a little more, and then after that, probably more of a full load. Don't take that out of context for Jadeveon Clowney. But that's what he's going to do Sunday night against Green Bay. We're going to see Micah about 100 times against us, and we're going to have Jadeveon Clowney probably 15 to 20 times against them. Now, I do want to say, unfortunately, and again, I don't know who the call-ups are going to be for the Cowboys. I'm assuming it's going to be a receiver, Trayshawn Holden. I'm assuming. We don't know, but we know one guy is not going to be brought up, and it's a guy we just brought up, and that's Zion Childress. Why are we not going to bring him up to our 53-man roster and elevate him? Because the Houston Texans signed him off our practice squad.
Oh.
They swiped him off there. They poached him off and put him on their 53, which is the only way you can do that. They have to be on their 53. They have to be on Texans 53 for 4 weeks before they can, or they have to cut him before they can do anything else. Yeah. So again, they signed Zion Childress. They cut one of their guys on the 53. Signed Zion Childress off our practice squad to put on their 53 of the Houston Texans. So that adds secondary depth. Do you know why that happened? The Texans had enough, and they cut a guy who kind of was a star with the Saints and definitely with the Eagles, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Remember that? C.J.
Yeah.
G.J., I guess you call him. But anyways, he was saying that the Texans, he was mad. He was cursing out the coaches. He was saying in the publicly, he was saying that the players suck on the team, that the team sucks, that he didn't like his teammates. So they just said, fuck you, they're cutting him. Now, I also heard the Cowboys may be looking to sign him. You know that's the absolute worst thing we can do, right?
Trash is another man's
treasure. I'm just saying, see, if CJ's going to talk shit about them, what do you think he's going to do? Whatever. How many miles is Houston south of the... What is he going to do? Whatever miles north of Houston. He's going to shit talk this defense, and he can't cover anyone. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's going to be pissed if he plays with us. So don't buy into those rumors. I know I hear a lot of rumors out there. Don't buy into these rumors. I'm helping you guys here. But we did lose a cornerback. And I talk about depth on our practice squad, Zion Childress. If the Cowboys liked him that much, they would have had him on a 53-man roster, in my opinion. So whatever it is, he was affordable to lose. If anything, if I was the Cowboys, I'd go get Keemon Hall and get him on the practice squad. Because he was the next guy behind Zion Childress that we cut and never put back on this team. I think maybe we did put him back on the team. I don't know. But either way, he'll be the guy that's elevated maybe with a receiver this weekend. We'll see what happens. Now, again, I do want to say that Zion Childress, undrafted this year, rookie, he's a Houston native. So he's going back home for at least 4 weeks. And less than ideal for a Cowboys whose secondary is struggling already. The good news is we get Deron Bland back, which means Zion Childress is not as important. But if something happens to him, then we're back to like Reddy Stewart, getting ready to start at cornerback. So that's that situation. Any quick thoughts?
Yeah, of course.
Because we're finishing up this show here in a minute, and I'm going to do the breakdown for the Packer game here in a moment. But before we get there, much love to Calvin Richards, who, by the way, chopped John Luna down to 85 points on the stream, boss.
That's right.
And Calvin Richards, thank you for hitting that bullseye 3 times and dropping those very insightful questions. Appreciate the back and forth and the input on that. Now, just a quick couple of quick one-hitters real quick.
Yeah, of course. Seabass said CJ GJ may not like the fact that we're a one-and-done team if we make it to playoffs.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have something to say.
Jetly44 saying Houston signed Childress from us.
Yep.
Bong Gang, what's up, Burn Farmers? Love bad attention saying, going back to the Clowney thing, that he's expected to get around 20 or 30 snaps.
Not even.
Most.
15 to 20 is what Stephen Jones said today. And when Stephen Jones says that, it means 10 to 15 in my mind. For some reason, I keep thinking that.
So, a bad attention saying it's the Eagles treated him, and he's been on this, traded him.
Yeah.
And he's been on 3 different teams in 4 years.
Yeah, so he's all over the place. Yeah, he's a little out of it right now, but hey, it happens. Now, let me put up the stinky fucking rotten cheese people call the Green Bay Fudge Packers. Wait, what? Did I say that? Yeah, I said it. Anyways, there you go. There it is.
Whackers.
The Fudge Whackers. You know what? I'm going to put it over my face, baby, because I'll take the hit for the team here. And I'll make it nice and big. We can see that stink. It's called the Green Bay Fudge Packers. Whatever you want to call them. I know that's not politically correct, but fuck it. They're the Fudge Packers. Anyways, they had a whole bunch of ooze, the stinky, smelly cheese. Guys, the Green Bay Packers, they have their injury list out. And they released it today. They said that basically they had about 15 guys on this list, but a shitload of them were not going to be injured, no issues with them. But the ones that are important is their starting safety, Javon Bullard. He is listed as questionable for this upcoming game, and they also rule out 2 players. So the Packers listed safety Javon Bullard with a concussion, questionable for this game against the Cowboys. They also ruled out offensive tackle Zach Tom with an oblique injury, and Anthony Belton with an ankle injury for the game against the Cowboys. So those are the 2 guys out, and one guy that is questionable is their main guy there. That's out of this group. He's a starter there for them at safety. The left guard, Aaron Banks, has a groin issue. He is doubtful. Did not practice this week. So again, probably not going to play there either. So they might have an issue on the offensive line side of things. I'm not sure if he's a starter or not. Either way, the main guy is Javon Bullard. He's the guy that's their definite starter on safety. And he entered the concussion protocol after colliding with his own Packer linebacker, Quay Walker, in the 4th quarter of Sunday's game against Cleveland. Bullard returned to practice on Thursday and continued to practice in a limited capacity. So again, limited, hence why he's listed as questionable. Now, as far as Tom and Banks, they didn't practice this week after leaving the game against the Browns with injuries. And LaFleur, head coach of the Packers, he said that he confirmed that Belton was also hurt during Wednesday's practice, but it does not believe it's a long-term injury, so probably miss a game. Veteran Darian Kennard briefly rotated in at right tackle with Belton against Washington before the rookie second-round pick handled all the rest of the second-half reps. And they, of course, beat the Commanders 27-18 last week. The 3 Packer starters, that was last Thursday. They had 10 days to practice for us. But there's 3 starters. Left tackle Rasheed Walker with the quadricep, tight end Tucker Kraft with a knee elbow injury, and defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt with a knee issue. All were upgraded to full participation on Friday and all going to play against the Cowboys. No injury designation, so they're set to go. And additionally, the Packers, who did not issue a game status for a bunch of players, which we kind of assumed they were back and available in practice pretty much the whole week. Running back Josh Jacobs, who had an ankle tweak. Defensive lineman Micah Parsons, a little back issue which has been there since the Cowboys. Carl Brooks also at linebacker with a foot issue. Quarterback Jordan Love, who we know he's going to play. He had a left thumb tweak. Tight end John Fitzpatrick with a groin. Cornerbacks Nate Hobbs with a knee and Bo Melton with a shoulder. Everybody a little banged up. Everybody going to play other than the guys I already mentioned. So, with this stinky-ass green cheese, what are some reasons to be positive if you're the Cowboys? Not many, but I'll give you a couple. Cowboys offense, starting there. We're averaging almost 5.5 yards per carry running the ball. 5.4 yards per carry on the ground. That's second most in the NFL. The Packers offense, they're averaging just 3.4 yards per carry at running the ball. That is sixth worst in the NFL. So you get the sixth worst rushing offense with Josh Jacobs against the second best rush defense in the NFL right now with the Dallas Cowboys. So, I'm sorry, not the defense, but our offense. I'm sorry about that. So when you look at our offense running the ball, we're averaging almost 5.5 yards rushing the ball, second most. When you look at the Packers, they're, what are they, 25th worst in the NFL at 3-4, basically 2 yards less per carry the Packers are getting than us. So we, on the ground, obviously, is an important factor, especially if I think we run towards Micah is a good thing. That's what always hurt us when teams ran against Micah and towards him. It hurt our run stop ability. So Packers against us, another positive thing we can say about our Cowboys. Our offense has a completion rate right now through Dak and our receivers at 71%. That is the fifth most in the NFL. The Packers defense, they're allowing 25 completions per game. That is the fourth most in the NFL. So again, we're getting a lot of completions, a lot of passes completed. Over 70% of our passes completed, fifth best. While the Packers are allowing 25 completions a game. A lot of teams have to throw against them because they're probably winning. So that's why you think that happened. But that they're allowing 25 completions, which is the fourth most in the NFL. So basically what I'm trying to say is you can't kind of throw against them. Dak Prescott, Pickens. We can still have a passing game against this defense, even with Micah coming in, trying to take Dak's head off. Cowboy tight ends, which I think are going to be a lot more important in this game here, which are the tight ends, I think we have, 27 by Ferguson? We have 29 catches by tight ends this season. That's the most in the NFL. Like I said, Ferguson, second most in the NFL behind Puka Nacua, who has 29 on his own. Ferguson has 27 on his own. But our tight ends, they have 29 total. That's the most in the NFL in receptions. I expect that number to go up in this game against Green Bay, especially when you look at the Packer defense. They've allowed 7 receptions per game to tight ends. At least 7 per game to tight ends this season. That is the third worst in the NFL. So when it comes to coverage and their linebackers in coverage, you throw the ball out to the tight ends. Now, I guess quarterbacks are getting blitzed and pressured by Micah and the rest of the Green Bay defensive line. So you got to get the ball out quick. You dump it down to the tight end. That's probably a reason why this number looks this way. But I do want to say there is that option open. I think Ferguson stepping up into that spot without CeeDee Lamb is a very important thing. We have to have him make some catches for 6-7 yards on first down. We got to get that rolling. So I like a moving pocket. I like Dak play actioning and rolling out. That's one of the best things we do, most efficient things we do as an offense. Keep that going. You can still find 7 to 13 passes, attempts, and completions to Jake Ferguson. So keep that going and keep weakening the middle of the field there with tight ends in that Packer defense. So that's something, I guess you could say, positive. Now, as I get to the end of positivity here, I will say our defense. We talk about run yards on offense. For the Cowboy offense, we average 2 more yards rushing than the Packers. But what about defensively? The Cowboys have allowed 1.5 yards after contact to running backs in 2025 this year. That is 8th best in the NFL. So again, after getting hit, players usually just fall forward, which means that the Cowboys are tackling well. 8th best in the NFL. The Packer running backs have only averaged 1.6 yards after contact this season. That's with Josh Jacobs. That is the 6th worst in the NFL. So running the ball is not their thing. They're 6th worst in yardage, 3.4 yards per carry, and they're also 6th worst in yards after contact. They basically get hit and fall down. The Cowboy defense is 8th best, also only allowing 1.5 yards. So that's, again, we hit you, you fall down basically for a yard and a half. So that's where we should hold that ground and stop them from running. But again, if Green Bay is winning by a lot, I guess running kind of other defenses the opposing defense can focus on stopping the run. You feel me on this? So there's that issue there. Now, I will say one last thing, one more positive thing, which is going to be a positive thing every week, as the wife knows. Brandon Aubrey, guys, he's 100% on field goal attempts this year and extra points. But in field goal attempts for Brandon Aubrey, he hit a 60-yarder and a bunch of 50-yarders. He's 8 for 8, 100%. First in the NFL. Brandon McManus, the Green Bay Packers kicker, he's only at 71% when it comes to field goal attempts made this year. He's only made 7, but we know that means he's tried at least 10. He's tried at least 11, so he missed 4. He made 7. That is 9th worst in the NFL. So special teams, we got him. At least we got that, right? Now, that gave you the basic good, feel-good stuff. Now, what are the things to win this game? Those are just stats. We can skew them however we want. But what's the real deal here when it comes to the statistics? When it comes to the matchups and the keys to victory for our Dallas Cowboys in this preview. And of course, one of them, Micah Parsons, man. This is a killer for us. Ever since the August 28th trade that sent Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers, this Week 4 game has been circled on everyone's calendars. First time Micah is going to return to AT&T Stadium to face his former team in the opposing locker room, right? And the Cowboys are struggling to keep the season afloat. Let's be real here. So everywhere you look, Green Bay is heavily favored in this matchup. That, again, is that really a surprise to anybody that with Micah and the way they're playing, that they're favored by a lot? Not at all. So again, the Cowboys defense is playing at a historically bad level right now. And offensively, they're going to be without 3 key starters for at least the next couple of weeks. Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, that's 2 offensive linemen. And of course, CeeDee Lamb. So things don't look good with the Cowboys. But again, there's still some things that are worth watching that I think can be keys to victory. And the first down is the obvious Micah Parsons situations. Whether it's Tyler Guyton or Terrence Steele on the outside at tackle, you have to see a lot. You have to get a lot of help. Because both these guys at the edges, at the tackles, they're going to see a heavy dose of Micah Parsons in Week 4. Tyler Guyton, second year, playing a lot better than last year. And Terrence Steele, who I'm not really comfortable with, especially. You don't have Zach Martin anymore, but you don't have Tyler Booker anymore either now. So now he's with TJ Bass. So, yeah, guys, right now, I think there's going to be some issue with Guyton and Terrence Steele whenever they go up against Micah Parsons. And another thing is Parsons is very familiar with Terrence Steele. So again, and Tyler Guyton as well. So again, either way, even though they know him somewhat, they can't really stop him. But he knows the weaknesses of Terrence Steele and of Tyler Guyton. So again, he's going to be very familiar, considering again that all 3 of them were teammates just a couple weeks ago, a month ago. So again, Micah Parsons, will know more than anyone what is the strengths and weaknesses on our offensive line and how to exploit those weaknesses to his favor and to his defense's favor on any given down. So again, now we're gonna have 2 backup undrafted offensive linemen on our starting now on the interior. So I'm gonna say this: we need our tackles to make sure we get Micah blocked when he's pass rushing out there, even if we got to bring in an extra tight end or a running back to help the Tyler Guytons and the Terrence Steeles. But I am more worried about the stunts when things are going to be going, when he's going to look for his revenge. And he's seeking revenge from Micah's seeking revenge for what the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, literally Jerry Jones, kind of handle the situation. He wants revenge, so he's going to attack on the outside. Yet Terrence Steele, Tyler Steele, Tyler Guyton, they're going to have their hands full, even with help. But it's when he stunts inside. When he takes a step like he's going to rush to the outside, and then goes inside to the center. And I'll say center of the field to make it easier for those that understand, but towards the guard and tackle, towards the guard and center, towards the 2 replacement guys. When he goes away from Terrence Steele, cuts inside. And now it's going to slip through 2 guys named Brock Hoffman and TJ Bass. That's my big fear. So we have to find a way to slow him down wherever he is. If we have Miles Sanders or Javonte Williams helping as a running back, they gotta. If he goes inside, Micah, we have to have that running back shift inside immediately while the play is moving. We have to shift them inside to help Bass and help Hoffman. So that's the way I see it. We need to slow him down. How do you slow Micah down? We know how. You got to give him 2-3 shots every play. Every play, you hit him. Hit him with two guys. And you hit him not a cheap shot, but right at the end of the play, you hit him again. That's how you slow him down a little bit. You run the ball right into his face. Now, hopefully, Terrence Steele, Tyler Guyton can block. But if they're blocking, he's not a very good run stopper or edge setter. So you run towards him, you usually can get a good chunk of yards if you run towards or at Mike. Not towards him, but at Micah Parsons. That's the key here. So that's the key in making sure we can handle the blitzing when he goes inside. Those are the things. Give him an extra couple shots here and there to weaken him. As we get towards the end of the game, he becomes slower. That's what we need to see. So, again, the Cowboys have to have the bookend tackles hold their spots this week, and the interior is going to have to, get help from tight ends and running backs. Let's just be honest. Now, that's one part of things here. But Mike is going to be attacking a certain quarterback named Dak Prescott. And we need to keep him upright against this Packer defense. Dak Prescott enters this Week 4 matchup at a severe disadvantage. Again, not only is Cooper Beebe and Tyler Booker, two of our starting interior linemen, are out for this game, he's also going to be without his best playmaker on offense, CeeDee Lamb. Less than ideal for our Dallas Cowboys, especially considering that Green Bay is one of the better overall defenses in the league this year so far. The Packers defense is currently only allowing 232 yards per game, and they are currently holding opponents to only 14.7 points per game. And the Cowboys scored 14 points last week and then 0 the second half. So, is this going to continue? I don't know. But the Packers also just happen to be the league's leading scoring defense. They put up points. They get turnovers that lead to touchdowns. So, and I'm talking about on the actual turnover. So they are right now really the hot shit on the defensive side of things. A lot of that has to do with Micah Parsons. So Dak Prescott is up to you, bro, to get. And again, you have to. I hope the coaches can have him moving. If you can move Dak, you give him more life, and you get more time for the play to take development, and then you can find your open guys. That's what I hope the coaches. That's not on Dak. That's on the coaches. The coaches got to do that, and I really hope they do that. Because again, without our best playmaker in CeeDee Lamb, and we got Pickens and Ferguson. We talked about their importance, the running game, and also missing both of our offensive linemen, two starters. Dak could be in a lot of trouble this week. There's a lot of fans still hating on Dak. And even though there's reasons that you can say, bad throw of this or that, guys, he's still a top 10 quarterback easily. In fact, maybe even higher than that right now. You know why I say that? Because Cowboy fans, even though they're talking crazy about Dak, and I know the $60 million, I agree he's not worth the $60 million, but that's not what I'm trying to talk about here. Through 3 weeks of the NFL season, Dak Prescott leads the NFL in completion percentage. 65.1% completion percentage. He also leads the NFL in passing yards per game. 309 passing yards per game is his average against the blitz. And also, he leads in passing yards against the blitz. 309 yards, not per game, total this year. 309 yards is what he's completed against blitzing defenses, which is number 1 in the NFL, and also leads the league in completion percentage on play action passes. That's my big key there to beat the Packers or anyone. Play action. Play motherfucking action, guys. The Cowboys, Dak Prescott in play action. And I'll say, Milton did good in play action too. But he only had like 10 snaps. Dak is our starter. He's the guy. He is 34 completions of 37 attempts. That's 91.2% on play action passes. That is number 1 in the NFL. And if you guys have been following this channel here since 2017 when we started this, I've been saying that since day 1 of this channel. We need play action for Dak. We need to roll him out even more without our offensive lineman being there. We need this, and you want to get the passing game rolling. Those are the ways to do it. It's there. We have the ability. Maybe we will lose this week, but we have the ability every week to get Dak Prescott into better situations. And I don't know why no one's able to ever fucking figure this out. But again, motion while you snap the ball. Snap the ball while you're in motion. Something I've been screaming about since 8-9 years ago, since we started this channel. They finally are doing it. Thank you, Schottenheimer. At least you finally heard me. That helps so much with Dak Prescott in this offense. Quick huddle. I've said that since the beginning of time, since before the channel. Now they're finally doing it. So we need to roll Dak out when we have broken offensive line right now. We need to roll him out to extend the play and give him time for the play to develop. That's very important. And of course, you're going to have to still look for Pickens and Ferguson dump downs and that kind of stuff. So I'll finish this up and then I'll hit the chat and then I'm calling it a night, guys. But the last thing I'm going to say is on the other side of the ball, and it's Jordan Love and the Packers offense versus the Dallas Cowboy secondary. And again, we need, run stop with Kenny Clark, great. But what about the secondary and the coverage? Trayvon Diggs, you got to get better last week. You slipped and fucked up a bunch. You said it was execution. Then before that, you said it was communication. Figure it out because we need you to perform against Jordan Love in this Packer offense. But let me put the guy who's really the best versatile all-around defensive coverage player on our team, which I think is Deron Bland, who could play slot, corner, or outside. He'll be playing the slot this time, which should help. And you got Trayvon and Jason Elam. Khair Elam on the outside, not the best there, but hopefully with Bland back and Trayvon able to play, it's going to help Elam be able to cover closer, and hopefully the scheme will be more understandable to him, I guess. I don't know what to say. But basically, Jordan Love against our secondary, a major key to victory for the Cowboys. Now, I'm going to say this. Will Jordan Love be the next quarterback to basically shred the Cowboys' defensive backfield? If I was on a bet, yes or no, I'd say probably. Now, you got to remember, the big plays the Cowboys have given up the last 2 weeks, both against shitty teams like the Giants and the Bears. We made their quarterbacks old Russell Wilson and young Caleb Williams. We made them both look like fucking superstars. And Jordan Love already is a little bit of a superstar. What do you think he's going to do to this secondary? Hopefully Bland being back means Bland helping out in a big way, more than we realize. Hopefully with 15-20 snaps from Xavier and Clowney, a little more pressure, our coverage can get a little better too. Hopefully. That's what I'm hoping. But it's not good right now. The way it looks, it's hard to be hopeful. So, again, no matter what the reason is it the defensive coaching, the scheme, the execution, the communication by the back end, meaning the safeties, the corners, and even the linebackers when they're in coverage? Is this where the issues are at? I mean, does it even matter? Does it matter? How about the lack of a pass rush? That could be you guys said it, that could be it's all of these things combined is why the Cowboys are in the predicament we're in on defense right now. And I think it starts with coaching and communication and the way he's teaching these players. Because some of these guys are playing great until the Everflush scheme. So what is it then? So it's just like you guys said. I think Bad Intention said, but it's just the scheme does not fit some of these players. These players. Let me put it this way: some of these players don't fit great in the Quinn scheme, but they don't fit. And they fit pretty good in the Zimmer scheme, but they don't fit very well in the Everflush scheme. It seems like. So there's no pass rush. We have issues that exaggerates any issues we have in communication and coverage, or execution and coverage, whatever it is. So there are just too many things to try to fix in such a short amount of time. But according to the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, we can do this. I mean, he was talking about still being a playoff team, Jerry Jones. What? Playoffs? So, again, a lot to fix in a short amount of time. But, again, Jerry believes that we can do a 180 and turn things around. I guess anything is always possible. But this matchup, I'm going to be honest, it would be great if we can control Jordan Love in their offense and they don't shred us again like the other teams have the last 2 weeks. But if we can do something like that, and keep it from happening, we will stay in this game and have a chance to win. If we don't do that, we will get blown out. And, again, not just that, but if Jordan Love can be consistent about tearing up our secondary, it's going to sway in Green Bay's favor. And the Cowboys will take the L, and that stinky green cheese will take the win, unfortunately. So when you look at the Cowboys and man coverage so far this year, and again, remember, Deron Bland was only in the Eagle game, and I think we did a good job shutting down a lot of the Eagles' receivers. So Bland did great, but then the next two games with the Giants and the Bears against worse offenses, we did worse all around. But specifically in man coverage, guys, and I want to do this by season here, okay? Back with Quinn in 2023, Dan Quinn, when we already had 3 years of Quinn and we were quinning, or 4 years of Quinn. I'm sorry, we had 2022, 22. We had 2 years of Quinn, 3 years of Quinn. Our third year of Quinn. Our Cowboys man coverage, one-on-one, not one-on-one, but man coverage. When you got a guy not in zone, when you're in man coverage, our rate, 36.1. We used man coverage third most in the NFL under Dan Quinn. Why do you think that was? It's a very easy answer. and he's not on our team, he's on their team. It's Micah Parsons. The pass rush, you can cover man a lot easier. Now, last year with Mike Zimmer, now a lot of the same defense, right? We still have Micah Parsons. We dropped to 15th. So is it the fact that Micah is there or not there? Or is it the scheme? Could it be a lot of the scheme in this? Quinn's scheme worked great. Shit, for a man coverage situation. Zimmer's scheme, we used it 15th in the NFL when it came to man coverage. So it was a different scheme. It wasn't really based on the pass rush as much. And this year we got rid of Micah. So how's our defense this year when it comes to man coverage with Everfluss, weeks 1, 2, and 3? The Cowboys, how confident are we in this? We've used it 4.9% of the time. We've used it under 5% of the time, man coverage, because we're in constant zone, horrible communication, holes all over the field. And the main reason is because, again, it's all these reasons, the communication, the coaching, the scheme fit, whatever it may be. But guys are wide open. We're not even able to run man coverage. How easy does it become for opposing quarterbacks when we're always running zone? It's very easy to break us down. When you know you're running man coverage 5% of the time, under 5% of the time. You know, the second lowest rate other than the Cowboys at man, Brian Flores, Vikings defense, use man second lowest at 10.7%, over half of us. What are we doing? We're doing it at 4.9%. They're doing it at 10.7%, and that's the second worst, and that's still way too low. We're using it at half of that rate as a 31st team in the NFL uses man coverage. We don't have the ability to cover in man. Everfluss does not use man coverage, whether it's because of the defense pass rush or not, but the Cowboys use a lot of zone. You got to have good communication. It then equals execution. Cowboys have none of this. Plus, when you throw in there no pass rush, when you throw in there the fact that no Micah anymore and no pass rush, and you throw in there the fact that the Cowboys, only thing we're actually doing well in is stopping the run. Thank you, Kenny Clark. I don't know how we can be tricky with any offense when we have to basically run zone defense, and we can run man only less than 5% of the time. It's embarrassing. So, you guys throw me your last comments because I am done here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we are going to hit, much love to Colin Richard for doing this thing, an hour and a half of this stream. We talked about these goddamn Packers. Fuck the fudge Packers. But we do have to talk about this game. No matter how ugly last week was against the Bears, no matter how ugly this week may be against the Packers. But either way, we discuss, and I'll go through some quick comments here since we didn't have any more drops. No more, hits on the bullseye and all that good stuff. So, looks like we're not going to hit the goal. But I will say, game day, you got to be around because John Luna usually shows up and then the goal is hit and you get some right into the raffle entry kind of entries. You know what I mean? You don't get into the pre-raffle. You get right into the raffle. So, stick around and make sure you join us here, guys, for some Sunday night football fun. Myself, the wife, on camera with our play-by-play watch party versus Micah Parsons and the Green Bay Packers in Dallas on Sunday night for some Sunday night football here with my Cowboys family. So yes, Buddy Ryan Seabass was the defensive coordinator for the Bears. Bad intentions of Micah being traded a week before. We talked about that. Jamal Burton in the house. Jerry Jones believes in delusions. That's the thing, right? Doesn't he? He believes in delusions. What's up, Jet Lee in the house? Moses Locust is in here. Seabass said Sanborn, born stuck in the sand. He don't move very fast, right? No explosiveness, nothing. He's just a basic run stopper. Yeah, he's slow as hell. Kenneth Murray, a guy who a couple of years ago probably would have been pretty decent, especially under. And I was trying to make the point of I think Zimmer would have helped out with the Kenneth Murray kind of situation, but no, we're gonna go with Kenneth Murray, who is really on the end of his career. So I'm with you guys there. Overshown will be back after Thanksgiving, but I'm with you with Maurice Leo-Fowl. Although he was behind in coverage a couple of times. Fuck it. Let him learn out there at this point. I don't care. It's not like these like Sanborn and Kenneth Murray are not going to be on this team next year. Will be Overshown when he comes back from injury, of course, later this year. And Maurice Leo-Fowl will be on this team. Let's work those guys in. Seabass, much love to you. Just much love to him and everything he's been doing overseas, so to speak. Yeah, I know. We were struggling when the playbook was vanilla, according to the head coach, says Seabass. Let me see. Bad intentions. I think we got Jamal Burton here. I'm doing some shout outs too while I'm doing some of the comments here. Bad intentions. Great point there. Jamal Burton. Yes, Jerry believes in delusions. Calvin Richards rocking it here. Seabass all the time in the military. There are plenty of times shit went online. You have to adapt. Yeah, that's what Everfluss is failing us in here, right? And you say about not being one-dimensional. That's what we're becoming when it comes to defensive coverage. I figured I'd throw that man-to-man coverage out because, we don't use man. That's fine. Not really. Because that's the way you make things kind of tricky. You can use a man with over coverage, man over. You can use man under. There's different. You can't do any of that if you're running man 4.9% of the time, right? What the fuck? So we are self-limiting ourselves, one-dimensionalizing our defensive scheme because of Everfluss. And then he don't use man coverage. Triqueasy. We're going to go with Triqueasy right now, but no Triqueasy. That's a great question, Jamal Burton, about the who hired defense coordinator. I think it was more Jerry Jones hire, but it was approved by Schottenheimer. What is Schottenheimer going to say? No. You earn your name here, says Moses. Yeah, that's right. Triqueasy, you better try harder if you want us to learn your name right. Jerry all the way, says Jamal Burton. Fool me once, shame on me, says Seabass. Fool me twice, shame on shame on me. Fool me 3 times, you'll never get the chance. Yeah, well, shame, that's the whole thing. It's supposed to be shame on me, fool me once. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. No, is it? But fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But yeah, fool me 3 times, never gonna happen. Fuck you, Jerry. We know how Jerry works. I hear you, bro. Yeah, he's talking about his military days there. Clowney is not playing. Clowney's playing 15 to 20 snaps. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, see, bad intentions. Green Bay Jets, Panthers, Broncos, Cardinals, Raiders. Oh yeah. The easy part of the schedule is now. I'll throw it up here so we can see it there. You can see it. I mean, after Green Bay, we get the Jets, the Panthers on the road. And then we get a home game against Washington, a road game at Mile High, which is where Brandon Aubrey's going to break the record. And then the Cardinals, which I think can be beat, but we're in Dallas, but we could never beat the Cardinals in the last fucking 10, 15 years, it feels like. And then we breathe. And I think we get a lot of our players, our injured players come back. CD will be back already. But I think we'll maybe have Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker back for the final 7 games there, whatever games are left. It's just not the final 8 games. It's just not a good look right now for the Cowboys overall with the way this thing is going. We don't look like we're in a very good place as a team. Let's be real here with the schedule coming up and all the issues. Even if we get through that first half and still get a couple more wins, we're still going to be what? 3-5? If we're lucky? What's the second half of that season looking like? After the Raiders, you got hell on earth in 3 weeks in a row. And then we get the Chargers at the end of the season with the divisional rivals. So, anyways, got you, Seabass. All good. Big difference between Clowney and Clark. Clark is a run stopper, and I think he's our sack leader, which should never happen. Clowney, and I know we were talking about this in ramping up time, but Clowney is a guy who is more of a pass rushing specialist. You know what I mean? So anyway, let me run through this real quick. Burn Bar, much love to him. Seabass, Jet Lee, the defensive coordinator was on Parsons to be out and step up and set up the defense. Believe he was going to have Parsons. Exactly, that's what we had said earlier. Houston signed Childress. That's right. Jet Li. Let's take Aguilar in the house. I was pissed when I heard the news about Zion getting signed by the Texans. Another dumb move from our front office, cutting Israel Mukwamu. I agree. And I think he's in Carolina, right? Starting with them now. My thing is that why did we not, even if we kept Childress, we have no slot and we have an issue with Bland. You never know. So put him on your 53. No. We got him. I guess it's not good enough. Or it's just bad coaching again. Who knows? Yeah, Houston came and signed their own players. They're going to take players, said Jet Li. I know. Bad intentions said the reason the Eagles treat him is the way. Oh, that's CJ Johnson. Yeah. Seabass, Aztec. I'm doing just some shout outs here. Moses, I'm ending this thing. I got to get out of here, guys. Triple OG. I hope you all have a great weekend. Next time we'll see you on this channel. We'll be live on camera ready for this reaction. Hopefully we stay close game against the Green Bay Packers. Moses Locust here in the house. Yeah. Well, I don't know about skewing numbers for Dak, but checkdowns are going to be forced by Micah Parsons in the Green Bay defense. So that's why I think you can see a lot of Ferguson this week. We let them off the hook, I know. Tell you. Jet Li said, didn't Clark get hurt? I did talk about that earlier, Jet Li. Clark was hurt, but he went back into the game, and he said he's 100% fine. So he's good. He wasn't even on the injury list, so he's good to go. Try Queasy. Meatball Ron in the house. Jet Li said they believe Overshown will be back sooner. Possibly. Yeah, they say that he'll be back mid-October. Jet Li, don't believe the hype. I'm trying to help you out here. Trust me on this. Don't hold your breath. Wait until closer to Thanksgiving. How about middle of November to have the hope he may come back earlier? Don't believe the hype. If they rush him back, and he gets hurt a couple weeks later, oh boy, he loses next season. Can't do that. Gotta make sure he's 100%. You know. So we'll see what happens there. I'd rather at this point, this season I don't think it's going to be saved. So even if it's mid-October, we might be, like I said, 3-5. Do you think Overshown is going to be worth bringing back and risking early? The answer to me is no, no, no. Moses says 4-13, very possible. Top 10 pick, baby. Let's go. Try Queefy, says Meatball Ron now. Damn. Yeah, Bad Intention says they got to play the Eagles and the Chiefs 4 days apart. That I'm telling you, that Thanksgiving week there, the Sunday against the Eagles, then turn around 4 days later. The only good thing is we're at home and home, but we're against the Super Bowl teams back to back. Then we're on the road a week later, exactly a week, because this is a Thursday, on the road against the possible Super Bowl team this year. I hope at least over the Eagles. I hope the Lions would be the next team there on. I think that's my birthday week, and then 10 days later we get to rest for maybe beating the Vikings in Dallas. Tough game against the Chargers, and then 2 road games against NFC East. Yeah, the Giants, well, Washington's going to be tough. So, Giants game is to be determined if it's even important for the playoffs. Probably not. It's a rough schedule, guys. A rough schedule. Can we beat the Raiders? Possibly. Look, best case at this point, when we get our guys back, I mean, if we can somehow get lucky against the Jets and the Panthers, I don't know if we can beat the Broncos or the Cardinals. But let's say we do. That's 4. That's 4 wins. Let's say we sneak in 4 with the Raiders. It's 5 wins plus. We got 6 wins. Then we bring back Overshown early. Oh, actually, it's already middle of November. Fuck, Overshown's back. You know, stay close with one of those 2 next games. They are Eagles and Chiefs. Those are going to be 3 tough games. So what did I say? 6 wins, 7 wins if we beat the Vikings, 8 if we beat the Giants. Do we upset the Chargers and get the 9th win there? Is that even a playoff run? Do we beat the Washington Commanders at least once? Maybe October 19th we beat them. I'm just trying to say, that'll be 10 wins. That's the best you get. That's the best you can get. Even saying 10, we got 1 after almost 4 weeks. We got 1 win. I don't know about this. We got too many injuries, too many issues. We're in trouble. So Jet Li said, Ark Manning, here we come. And that's if he's that good. Because he had a horrible first week, and he had a better second week. But, he needs to show us 2 good years before the Cowboys are going to trade up for him in 2027. And I do say trade up because the Cowboys have to probably take, to get a top 5 pick, a top 3 pick, a top pick, Cowboys probably have to take that Green Bay pick in the first round in 2027 and their own probably top 10, top 15 pick in the first round of 2027 and package them together and move up to get the first overall pick for a quarterback. By then, it'll be Dak's last year, so it'd be a perfect move. But I'm assuming maybe that's what Jerry Jones is thinking of doing. We shall wait. We shall see. Either way, you're done here waiting and seeing, guys. Much love to the man, John Luna, who's our sponsor of the quarter. He's the current leader of this month. He's putting himself in a great position here to be able to win another jersey. He just won a jersey, our last raffle here. Our last quarter jersey raffle. So we'll see who wins this monthly jersey raffle sometime in the beginning of October. But John Luna, 85 points in the stream, boss. Much love to Calvin Richard, who chopped him down a little bit there and dropped some love today on the board. I'll update that board. Calvin Richard is jumped up into the top 10, I think, after those drops today. Shout outs to him. And, of course, gifting memberships. Shout out to anybody who's gifted memberships. But the winner last quarter is the same guy who's the top sponsor, John Luna. Much love to him. I think he had 10 or something like that. This month, he has 5. AOD has 1, but neither are leading. Because Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. Skeptical Fan, he's the leader with 7 gifted memberships. Shout out to him. Now, when you look at I think that's everything except for the actual Cash App side of things. And who's the king of the Cash App? He's representing the Detroit Lions. His name is Motor City Maniac. Much love to Mr. Motor City Maniac for all he does here and on the After Dark channels and the fun we do there. Of course, there's less football there and more political and everything else over there. Here, it's only football. So Motor City, much love. And hey, all I want is, if we're not going to win the Super Bowl, I hope you guys beat the Eagles and knock them the fuck out so they cannot win the Super Bowl. That's your only job, Motor. That's your only job for this Lions team. Please knock the Eagles out of the playoffs. That's all I'm asking for. Who is the current leader in the Cash App? It is none other than the one and only Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Shout out to him. Everybody knows Daniel Berry. He's on every channel. Shout out to the man, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. He is currently the leader on that board. I think I got everything else, right? Skeptical's leading the gifting side. John Luna is leading everything else, and he's winning everything else. He's the big winner on everything else I haven't mentioned. So shout outs to him. And again, the last chance to probably get into this raffle, this jersey raffle, is going to be on game day. And it may be to the hand of John Luna. We shall see. But in the end, the raffle is going to happen no matter what. And it's going to be, it says quarterly, but it'll be the monthly raffle sometime in October. In the beginning of October, star level, 1 entry each. Over everything, 2 entries each. Looks like John Luna is going to be the winner this month. He gets an entry as well, a bonus entry. And we have a bunch of names in there already because of John Luna hitting the bullseye. Automatically brought a bunch of people in there. I could sit here and read off the names. I'm not going to, but I will kind of skim through it here. Let me just quickly skim through it and let you know some of the names. Like John Luna himself, Jet Li 44 has a bunch of entries. Not a bunch, but like 3 entries in there. A bunch from Mark Hovsepian on his own. Sky Johnson in there. We also had, who else did we have in here? We also had another one here that hit the thing. Oh, yeah, we had Sully. Talk to Sully, Skeptical Fan, Azteca Aguilar, Scorpio, The Lunatic, Antoine Scott, Red Z Mac, Motor City Maniac. Ooh, man, we got a whole bunch of people in this mix that we hit the bullseye with, and that caused them to automatically get into the raffle. So those are the names so far in it. And some of them have more than one raffle entry. You guys can get in there as well. And it's coming literally game day. Or I said game night against the Green Bay Packers right here at My Cowboys Family. So as you can tell, the wife already has passed out for the night. But King of the castle, I have a chair. What's up, Moses Locust? I love, that's a great movie, Borat. And yes, Jet Li, John Luna got you in there as well. I think you got in there as well on your own merit, but John Luna threw in a couple extra ones for you. So we'll see how it happens. That's still we got another stream or 2 or 3 before we do that raffle. So there's still chances for a lot of people to still get into this thing. Again, I keep showing the what it's for, but it's literally for a sewn and stitched jersey of your choice, not our choice, your choice, any player, any number, any sport. And if you want it personalized, you want to put Jet Li in the back, you can put Jet Li in the back. A cowboy jersey, whatever style you want, whatever size. Men's, women's, children's. You got it. You guys know how this goes, right? Indian Boogie in the house. Much love to him. He said, Melwa. It means hello. And what is that? What is that? Is that Kalua? Indian language. Well, thank you for the update there. Indian Boogie. Boogieing on down. I hope I said it right, bro. Thank you, bro. And by the way, the man is part of that membership, like Jet Li and all the others. And I know he almost won at one time when it came to gifting. So shout out to Indian Boogie hanging in there and being in the mix. Again, I appreciate everybody who's in any of the memberships. I appreciate anybody who dropped the love tonight from above and hit the bullseye. That's really one person tonight, and that was Calvin Richard. Shout outs to him. He's in the top 10 now on this board. So, mahalo. And I say that to also Marco Sepin, who's on the board here, close to the top. Thank you guys. Seriously, can't do it without you. Almost 2-hour stream because we just shooting the shit, talking a little bit of cowboy football. Got some facts out. Got some of the real deal. As far as this game, just stay close, Cowboys. Just stay close. That's all we need. Stay close, and we got a shot. And if we don't stay close, we'll probably lose the game 40 to 17 or some shit like that. If we're lucky, 17. We'll see what happens, guys. Again, I did the shouts in the chat. I do appreciate everybody here who jumped in, dropped the love, dropped the knowledge. But hey, you know why we do this no matter what. It used to be every day. Schedules changed. Now it's at least twice a week here. Once in the middle, once before the game to give the recap and the preview. And then once on game day, you're going to get at least us twice a week. And I'll have that I should have that Bears logo ready for you. I mean, not the Bears, the Green Bay logo for you ready to drop for game day for anybody in the membership. So looking forward to that as well. Guys, thank you. Appreciate you all. Hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell. And of course, please remember why we do this each and every night here on My Cowboys Family. It's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star of everything. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. On this channel, we're going to always rep that star of everything. And on this channel, for over 8 years, into our 9th season of football, never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, Cowboys! Woo! No matter what, motherfuckers, no matter what. Fuck everyone else. They hate us because they hate us. Much love to Mr. Roy Strasner in the house. Salute to you, brother. Appreciate you as always. Moses Locus in here. Get it down to the 50-cent Aubrey out. First or fourth, just kick it and get that record. 67 yards. And when you go to Denver, kick it from a 75 yards. How about that? Let's go. That's what we got. That's what we got going this year, it seems like, right? But listen, as a fan, we call fan is short for fanatics. That's what we always do this here, right? We're fanatical about our team. We love our team. We're a little delusional. Not as delusional as Jerry Jones. We're all fans are. We hope. Turnaround happens and somehow a miracle happens and we have a great playoff. We go 10 or 11 wins like Jet Li said and make a run in the playoffs and get that 6th Super Bowl like we've been hoping for almost 30 fucking years. Well, the reality is that's not it. That's not the reality. The reality is Jerry Jones fucked us for the last 30 years. And it started with 32 years to start with the firing of Jimmy Johnson. And he's been fucking us since. Guys, yep, it's still the Smelly Bay Fudge Packers over there no matter what. And here it's always going to be My Cowboys Family for life. Thank you all, guys, truly in the chat dropping the knowledge. Thank you, Calvin Rich, for dropping the love from above, as we say here. And thank you all for chilling and rocking with us here. But now it's time for us to drop out and clock out for the night. Relock and reload for game day. In just a few days on Sunday night. Oh, I say game day. I say game night in a few. Guys, take care. We'll see you then. And as always, before we can officially drop out for the night, as the wife always says, before we can drop out for the night, what do we got to do? We got to drop the beat. Woo! Beat drop, really crazy there. We were still in the backup computer, guys, so I'm hearing my computer is almost fixed. That's what HP is telling me, so they'll be sending it back to me soon to get back to normal streams. Guys, thank you again. Hit the like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you can be anywhere on YouTube. All 15, 20 of you chilling here, and all you watching the replays, comment down below. And don't forget, here we talk about it all, good, bad, and ugly. The recap of the Bears game and the snaps there on Booker and on CeeDee Lamb when it comes to their high ankle sprains. DeRon Bland, thank goodness, is back. That question mark, erase it. He's back with Trayvon. Dak is nervous, though, because he's got Micah in his path in front of him. And two down on the offensive line. And your playmaker's gone. Not a good situation for Dak. Dakota Prescott. Good luck. He's going to need it. Hopefully there's a good game plan on the offensive side. I hope. Guys, thank you for joining me and the wife, special guest here for about an hour and a half of the 2-hour stream for another episode of My Cowboys Family here, MCF. As always, guys, you know what it's about. That navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. But never forget the number one thing here, My Cowboys Family. You guys keeping this thing going for our 9th season, our 8 years on YouTube plus. Thank you all for keeping us alive. 42,000 and a half and beyond, right? Peace out, guys. Much love. Make sure you hit that like button for the stream. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Notification bell on to all videos. Follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family. Jump in the Discord and discuss some Cowboy football and more. And we'll see you here on game night, Sunday Night Football. Green Bay Packers at the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be waiting for you, Micah. I know he's waiting for us. Take care, guys. Peace out. Much love. And as always, never ever forget, Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat.